it's your first time watching my video, my name is Samdup, and if you haven't watched the previous video, make sure you watch the previous video because they are really interesting videos. It's basically like the journey of my life, like how I started my study, how I started my book, how I started my yoga journey, how I started my career. Like there are lots of interesting things and very informative and very knowledgeable videos. If you want to watch them, that would be very helpful for you as well as for me, and because I'm spending time to make all these videos so that at least one person could get the knowledge or help from my effortless video. Alright, so if you haven't watched the previous video about how I started my nursing journey or nursing career, make sure you watch the previous one before you clicking on this. You can pause this one and go back to the previous one and watch the previous one and watch this one. In that way you will understand how I started my nursing career. Okay, so in the previous video I stopped at a topic aged care, individual support certificate and individual support study for 6 months. So I'm going to continue with that one. Okay, so I was talking in the previous video that I studied individual support for 6 months and then I worked in the aged care for almost 2 years. So yes, if you are working in the aged care, if you are cleaning someone's poop, if you're washing someone's body, there is nothing to be shameful, there's nothing to look down yourself, there's nothing to hide your job profile, because this job is one of the most vulnerable and one of the most amazing thing that you are doing, because all the old people, all the old aged people, once they were young like us, once they were the fighter of the country, fighter of the nation, someone's father, someone's mother, someone's auntie, friend, sister, they could be anyone. So you are looking after someone who has been through a lot and who has experienced all the life journey. So they're at the last stage of their life where they're unable to help themselves, they're unable to do their activities of daily living, they're unable to assist themselves with the daily routines of their life. So we are looking after them, so which is perfectly amazing. And I think there's nothing to be ashamed of. I've heard it from my friends, and there are many other people, they have been saying, oh, working in the aged care, this would be the last option. But no, this would be your first option to start your career, first option to move forward, first option to earn something, and first option to get a regular income to pursue your next step. Okay, so if you have ever thought of working in the aged care, but if you heard something bad about it, make sure you listen to yourself first, because there is nothing wrong cleaning others' poop. There's nothing wrong helping someone to get shower and ready for the day. You are literally making and helping someone's life. So right from the beginning of the day, as soon as they open their eyes, you go to them, you wake them up, you help them to give shower, you help them to put nice dress up, and you help them to like start their conversation, and you help them to do a lot of things in their life at the end of their life. So be proud if you have ever been aged care worker, or if you ever been looking after someone in the community, or as a personal carer or disability. Those people are the most compassionate people in the world. So if you're planning to do an aged care course, make sure you ask yourself questions before you're listening to someone else, because if you're ready to do this, you should do it. Or if you really need to do it, you should do it. Or if you want to try it, you should do it. Because before trying or before stepping into the field, you never know how it feels. But when I start first time, as a student, during my placement, it was fine, because I was always with my buddy, and it was always fine, because as a student, you can't be by yourself in the room with the resident. So there is always someone to look after you. Yeah, but then as soon as I completed my placement, I got a job offer from the same place, and I took the job. And like mentally I was stressed, I was depressed, and I was so traumatized, and I went through a lot when I accept the job. It's not the journey of the job, it's just the environment. When I see the old people's life there, I was so sad. I couldn't even sleep at night when I come back from my work, and I just lie down in my bed and I keep on thinking about their day, their life, and how they are living, because it's completely different from my culture, and of course most of the Asian culture. Because in our culture, we as a family, we all live together in one house. We have grandparents, parents, uncle, auntie, sister, brother, whatever, like all the family members stay together, and we never send our parents or grandparents to the aged care and away from the relatives, because we believe that to be in a very warm and nice home, it is always nice to have a grandparents, like old people in the house. It's a complete household. But of course I can understand like how it's all about the culture difference, and there is nothing to blame anybody, because this is how it has been going so for ages and centuries. So yeah, so in my view, my experience was so sad. I was like really traumatized, but I didn't realize that it was like mental health issue. I didn't realize that I was going through mental health issue, because as I said previously, that we were never taught, or we were never educated about mental health and sex. So it's like a zero knowledge. And even if you're going through something, it's so hard for us to express. If you are feeling really sad, if you are going through some mental issue, it's so hard for us to express and tell that I'm going through this and that stuff. And it's so hard for us to accept to go to a psychologist or a counselor to talk about our feeling, because this is not normal for us, and these are all like new thing for us. So I was going through a lot of things, but then I was unable to talk to my parents, because I didn't want them to stress out. I didn't want them to worry about me. So I always just locked the door, and either I cried, either I write them down, either I stay awake whole night and then go to work next day. But then I made my mind that whatever I'm going to do with them, I'm going to do it from my heart, with full of compassion, kindness, and not to think about money. Obviously we need money. We are working to get regular income, regular payment, salaries and all, but I put my money mind to the side, and I filled myself with compassion, kindness, and very genuine as a human being. So I started seeing everybody as a human being. I started seeing them as my grandparents, because I love my grandparents, and they are everything for me. Like they are everything, like everything in the world to me. But I never get a chance to look after them. They looked after me. They looked after me until I was 5. So I never get a chance to look after them. So I was like, okay, I'll consider them as my grandparents. I'll look after them as my grandparents. So after changing and shifting my mindset, I was so happy. Every single day I was so excited to go to work. Every single day I was so happy to go to work and like wear a smile on my face and talk to them, and at least comb their hair, braid their hairs, and put on nice clothes for them. Give a nice massage on their food, and talk about it, talk about their life, and talk about their families. So I was so happy. I was really enjoying the job. I started to enjoy my job, and I was every single day I was that much excited to go to work. And then I realized that it's all about mindset, and you have to accept the culture. This is not Tibet, this is Australia. They have different culture and they have different beliefs. For us, of course, we have different culture, we have different belief. So you can't stick with your old thought. You can't really take that with you and apply it to someone else, because they have different culture. Even though I respect my own culture, my own tradition, of course I respect everybody's culture and tradition, but at the same time I had to set my mind that okay, you have to work in a very you have to think widely, you have to think more positive about things. You have to accept things. So I started accepting whatever is around, and then I started to receive them in a positive way. In that way, I've changed and transformed and shift my thought. So yeah, I worked there. I was a casual there, so I worked for 3 days a week, and then I was full-time student as a nurse, and I started my nurse as soon as I finished my individual support. Like in India and back in India, like where I studied before, it's not common and normal for us to study and work at the same time. But here it's amazing that you can work, you can study, you just have to manage the time. So everything was very like not normal, like abnormal, and everything was new, but it's life. Like you have to adapt to a culture, you have to adapt with the environment to be able to live your life, to be able to move forward. So yes, I worked for 3 days, and then I studied for 4 days, so which is like 7 days I am completely packed. So if I have a class in the morning, I would finish at like 12, and then afternoon I start my work at 2 o'clock, and then I finish at 9 o'clock. And then next day I start my class at 8 o'clock, and then finish at 3 o'clock, and sometimes I pick up shift, like short shift 4 to 8. So it's like every single day I have job at the same time. My study. So I try to balance them, because I also have to support, I also have to pay my fee and bills at home. When I started my study, I didn't know that there is a way that we could apply for loan, or we could apply for financial support. So I decided to work and then pay at the same time, because I didn't want to take any loan at the same time. I didn't know that there are like places where we could go and ask for financial support and then return them when we started working, you know, like basically financial loan. Yeah, so in that way I studied, and then I completed my nursing, and then I went to different hospitals for placement, and it was also very stressful when you started your nursing career, because there are a lot of things. It's not only about study. So when I started studying, I didn't face problem with the study, but along with the study I face problem with the technology, like assignments and how to use the resources, and then references and how to do all this. I was like so confused, and I didn't have any about the computer. So I had to learn a lot of things along with my journey. But the good thing is, when I was in the nursing school, I had really good friends. We have 5 friends from all of them are from different countries. So every single day we push each other, we helped each other, we encourage each other. Even though half of the students, they discouraged and they quit the nursing school, but I almost quit on stage 2, but then on semester 2, but then I just helped myself, and I was like, okay, at least get a degree and gain the knowledge, and then after that you have the options. Either you want to work or you want to study something else. So I was like, I want to find something. I need to do something where I can put my foot on the ground and stand still and then look around. So my basement was my nursing career, and of course I had yoga. I have yoga certification, but even though certified yoga instructor, you cannot work straight for someone, because you need Australian fitness certificate 3 or 4 to go along with that. So I didn't have that one, and of course for that you have to study, and it was like long journey. I looked from all the direction, all the angle for the possibilities, but the nursing was only the option for me. And plus I have been through a very bad health condition where I was hospitalized, and I stayed there and I saw all the nursing students and nurses, And then I was like, oh well, this is a very productive, this is a very satisfactory and a rewarding job, so maybe I want to do this, because it's all about doing something for someone else. And when I do something for someone else from my heart, I always get the happiness. So I was like, okay, let's try, why not? So in that way I started my nursing, but this was never a dream job for me. But at the moment I'm really enjoying it, even though it's the very physical and very mental, emotional job. But I'm really fortunate and grateful that I have this job, and which is my career. So even if I want to study in the future for further degree, of course I can study, and I can also do something else. So yeah, this was never my dream, but here I am. I'm a nurse, and I'm very proud to be a nurse, to be honest, and I'm not regretting that I didn't pursue to be a counselor or a psychologist. But those years, like those 3 years when I did my bachelor in India, those 3 years I've learned a lot. I met a really good friend, and I explored a lot. So obviously I've gained all the knowledge, but I was unable to get the degree because I didn't continue. I was unable to pursue my career when I arrived here, because I have to choose in between for your best. So yeah, this is how I started, and this is how I end up, but we never know what happens in the future. Yes, and that's it. It's a very long video. But I'm sure you will get at least a bit of idea or bit of knowledge from my video. And make sure you like and subscribe if you want to watch more. And you can always leave comment down below, and you can always ask question regarding anything. And if I have idea, and if I have the experience, I'm sure I'll share you, and I'll make time to make a video for you all. And that's it. Thank you everybody for watching and for your time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next time.